Alright, so, do you recall what all went down last time, Shiori?
I am aware, yes. Last time I made it aboard the boat, while Sume and Shima were still on the ground in the snow. There was a missing nin with them who had a murderous bend to her. And she unprovoked struck down one of our scouts, or one of their scouts, one of the one of the sailor scouts. Wait a minute, hold on. Wait, which one's Mercury?
I don't know.
Please tell me it's the captain. Anyway, anyway, yeah, so Shiori made her way onto the boat, and, immediately pissed off the bunny medic, and, started healing patients, as best she could. She noticed several massive bruises on a lot of them, and we figured out why after a little bit. And I met nice, friendly people, like a bugman.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember his name. You told me earlier, but I've completely forgotten. I could look at the chat, but I'm not going to.
He is...
What am I missing? I met the captain. Captain is very spooky. Very large for a spook. And then, the missing nin shot down shot down the scout. And so Shiori, teleported out, grabbed him, teleported back onto the boat. In a dazzling display of lightning and badassery. And she could not help him, but the bunny medic could, because she knows more advanced healing techniques. And so, due to that, speaking of techniques, guess who I need to have open? And because of that, the boat, well, I think it was decided that the boat was going to sail away before that, but we ended the last session on me sailing away from Shiori and Sume. Alright, yep. Shiori, Sume and Shima.
Yep. So, all this, the major bits of this went down close to the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And Sume, for her part, was told to go back to the village, and due to the things that happened with the missing nin, she had even more reason to go back to the village. So she left prior to it really being, quote-unquote, super dark, and she just, she did her super fast ninja charge run, and was going back off to the village. She's probably going to make it back to the village by, nightfall, because she's super fast. By,
yes.
We'll say 11 o'clock or something like that. She'll be back there.
Mm-hmm.
And we open up this one with Shiori is still on the boat, obviously, and they're going to pull up anchor to actually, officially set sail once there's better lighting for once sunrise happens. So
okay.
You're sort of in that moment where you could theoretically...
For all the animals with night vision and they don't want to, sail at night?
Well, they theoretically could. There is a couple that would have night vision. They just aren't... they're choosing not to sail at night at the current moment. Shiori doesn't really necessarily have the specifics as to why that might be a thing, but there is a reason that that's a thing. She just doesn't know what it is.
Hey, whatever, they're doing them.
Yeah, exactly. But you are given the opportunity to, get some rest on the boat, because it's been a long day for you, and you've used a lot of chakra and all your teleporting and jumping around.
A lot of chakra, yeah. Yeah, so I'm back. I'm back up to 71. I have almost no action points. I want to do this one. I want to do. Whoops,
Once
that's
Shiori
not
goes
one.
into Healy mode to check everybody on this boat to make sure they're all happy and healthy, you'll learn just what kind of crazy animals is on this boat. Because she'll get a census of all the animals on here.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of these people have been at sea for a little too long, so she's making sure they all are happy and healthy.
Yes. Yes.
And my
My
question
tech
is, do
wish
you rest
list.
first?
Oh God, yeah, I have to.
Okay.
If they're docking out for tonight and like we're sailing in the morning, then I think Shiori would want to get rest. So
So, Achike, the slug girl,
yes.
who is your friend that led you into this situation in the first place, kinda.
Yeah.
She, Achike sort of leads you to the, like, what is essentially the sleeping quarters or barracks of this huge, massive, military warboat sort of a thing that you're on. And just in passing, you see that there are, considering like most everyone except for maybe two or three lookouts that are staying up top of the boat, most everyone is going down to lay down for the night. And you see that there are 5 rooms that are like, they seem to be a single person's room. It's like it's the quote-unquote officials or the higher ranks of those that are on this boat. And then there are 2 rooms that hold like barracks and bunk beds for quite literally the rest of the ship. And in passing and looking in the doorways, you see that the barracks seem to be, one contains more people compared to the other one, and then the other one that has the less people appears to be mostly the bug folk that you've talked to before. In fact, you see the one that you talked to previously in the medbay as he was given a chance to actually sleep in his quote-unquote his bed.
Good.
And he just sort of sees you and gives you a smile. He has absolutely no clue what happened up top. Because before Woolachi came up there to help with the Raven Scout, she had give him the go-ahead to sort of collect what few things he had and get to the to his room for the night. But he gives you a smile, and then you notice that like everyone in this little barracks is all the smaller shielded eyes, the shaded eyes for the probably have compound eyes and things that these bug folk all have. And then in the next room beside that, you see a lot more variety of animal-y folk.
Is Woolachi in there, or is she away from there?
Woolachi is going to her own room, which she has her own single-person room. She's one of those special 5 that have their own room.
I see. Is Achike in the Bugs barrack?
Nope, Achike has her own room too.
Oh, so they're both officers.
They're both higher enough rank. The 5 rooms. The 5 rooms consist of a room for Achike, a room for Woolachi, a room for Sentaka, the ram, the satyr dude. The commander's chambers is The commander's
Oh no,
chambers.
Shintakai wasn't the. Okay, yeah.
Syndicate was the ram.
Mm-hmm.
Syndicate has his own room, and there is the chambers for the commander. His room is there as one of the 5, and then there's a 5th locked door that you don't know who's in that one.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's literally like the most of the people that you previously met and have talked to at length are all higher up, and then the barracks contain everyone else on the ship.
Okay.
And at the moment you can't get a count because you're pretty tired and everybody's all sort of huddled together and yeah.
Right.
But yeah, you IGK sort of leads you to her room to give you a chance to sleep. Like use one of your sleeping bags to sleep in your room in the room with her if you wish.
Mm-hmm.
That'll
be fine.
She's gonna give you the option to sleep wherever you want to. If you want to sleep with the other soldiers or whatever, you can. But
I think she's gonna she's kind of gonna go. Do you have a minute to talk? I'm kind of tired, but I was curious about something.
Sure.
I noticed coming by that most of the like non-mammalian what do I even call you guys?
Kuchigami will suffice. It's sort of the term we chose to. It's sort of the term we chose to use to fit more with your tongue.
I see. Okay, it's a little easier for me to say, but I'm getting better at your language anyway.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that aren't mammals, I noticed they were in separate bunks. Is there a reason, or?
It's rank. Most of the, well, all of the bug folk are of a lower status than everyone else, so they sort of got their own room, whereas most of those who are the other soldiers and the other people of the ship, the bigger room that you saw next to it, they are of a rank just above theirs, and then we have us who are higher. Our society is kind of, what was it, social hierarchy sort of a thing?
Yeah, okay. That I don't like that kind of setup in most places, but I'm not going to attempt to overhaul your society while I'm sleepy.
I don't like it either, but it's...
Yeah, it's not great. Thanks for offering me space on your floor, but if it's all the same, I think I might want to stay near the patients.
Oh, in the med bay with the other patients?
Mm-hmm. There's got to be at least 1 or 2 free beds right now, because I saw a couple of them are up and walking around.
Okay.
Alright. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go see, I'm gonna see Wilachi in the morning, and I guess whenever, if we eat, I don't know if you guys eat breakfast, but if you do, I'll see you then.
You said that, didn't you say that you were going to help with food? Maybe you can do that in the morning?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay. So you head out and head back towards the med bay?
Yep. I'm sure it's gonna, like...
Give me a spot check.
Spots.
Nice.
14?
14's good enough. You sort
I found spot.
Ahaha. You sort of take a quick glance around, since you'd left from Achike's room. You take a quick glance as you head back towards the med bay, and you see that off most of the doors to like the higher ranking rooms,
Mm-hmm.
they're all shut and possibly locked. You're not entirely sure, except for one. There's one that's still open, just a crack. That's to the left of Achike's room, and there's a light
Okay.
on the inside of it for that whoever's in that room is in it, but the door isn't shut all the way.
Okay. So whose room is this? You said there were only 5.
Yeah, it's
like,
one of the
private
5
rooms.
It's one of the 5 rooms. You just, as Shiori, you don't know whose room it is.
Oh, I see.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah.
Intrigue. I guess it couldn't hurt to stay up a few more minutes. Jerry's gonna tap gently on the door.
okay. As you tap onto it, I'm assuming you do sort of a soft tap, not like a hard thing, just a,
No, I'm not like wailing on the door. I'm just like kind of tap tap, like polite knocking.
you tap and wait for a response, or you tap and sort of look through the crack.
Yeah, so.
Okay. You see that this room is Syntakas, the Ram.
Oh, I see.
And he appears to be, as you sort of look in, he notices your knock and sort of looks up. He has like a desk that he appears to be writing in journal, diary, logbook, something of the sort. And he's just seems to be keeping notes of things before he lays down for the night.
Okay.
He gives you a nod. Do you need something?
So, like, she'll just kind of like push the door open a little wider and say, "Is it alright if I come in?"
Sure.
Alright. She'll step inside and, like, give him a bow and stuff. And, go, do you, I guess, do you have any advice for me? I would like to travel with you guys, but I don't want to really step on anybody's toes.
Well, most everyone here is fairly calm and laid back, except for the commander, of course. But honestly, if Achike put some faith and trust in you, I think you'll be alright.
Okay.
You might
Can I ask you? Oh, go ahead.
you might want to keep opinions to yourself if you see something that you don't like, maybe, especially if it comes from the commander. But yeah, I didn't think you didn't look like this to do that.
To be fair, you're familiar with the villages, right? If nothing else from reports, maybe,
Yes.
or rumors?
Yeah.
You're
We know
aware
some.
that... Okay, so, the village leaders, the Kages, each one holds a rather powerful being within themselves. They're a force more terrifying than anything nature could produce when they unleash this kind of power. And I have argued toe to toe with one of them on several occasions. I will be respectful, but if it's something egregious, I can't agree to hold my tongue.
I see why Archie liked you. You seem to have a lot of fire for such a small woman.
I am small but fiery. Yes.
Well, maybe not fiery. What was that? Lightning, not fire?
I do have just a little bit of fire and some wind techniques, but a lot of my focus is lightning. It was, something my dad did, and I always found this, like, beautiful fascination with the way the electricity moves.
Yeah. Like I said, I think you'll be fine. And, who knows? Maybe you'll make the commander rethink his ideas. Don't tell him I said that.
I won't say a thing.
You gonna be sleeping in Achike's room, or are you going somewhere else?
No, I was thinking I'd sleep in the barracks in case any of the patients need something. That way, Luachi doesn't have to be disturbed.
Okay. So you're sleeping in the med bay or the this is out of character DM. You sleeping in the med bay or the barracks?
No, the med bay, yeah.
Yeah, just checking. Okay. I see. Alrighty. You have a good night then.
You too. Nope, I completely forgot.
So you head out for the night?
Yeah.
Okay. And there is a couple empty beds. Even when you were there initially and you sort of whirlwind around the room to check all the patients that Woolachi had, even then there were a few beds that were still empty. So there's definitely a cot that you can get some rest on.
Oh, okay. Alright.
So you sleep with...
Shiori's gonna make sure that the patients know she's, a resource if they need anything in the night. And, like if they're feeling unwell or their injuries are bothering them, that she'd be, available to help them out even if she's sleeping. And then she'll find a bed, nearby the door and kind of like tuck in for the night.
Okay. Alright. So you sleep peacefully. You are at least halfway used to sleeping on a boat. Maybe not in a big warboat like this, but you slept on boats before.
I've traveled across the ocean several times, yes, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. So the morning comes. Do you wake up at dawn? I mean, you may or may not have your coffee at this particular point, but...
She keeps a small supply of coffee in case she needs it. But also...
Of course she does.
Well, I mean, she learned to after, like, trips like she's been taking, she kind of needs to make sure that she has her own coffee if she runs out.
Fair.
If she's gonna be out for weeks at a time, that'll be a problem, but she'll adjust. So, she's going to, she's gonna get up probably before even the, before she even wakes up, or before anyone else wakes up, she's, like, up and about, still a little groggy, but, like, she, gets... She probably actually pulls up some of the seawater. If I roll high enough, can I bend Poison Purge to purify the water? I'm sure there's a water purification technique, but I don't actually know it.
That's interesting.
There's like a prestidigitation style purification / cleaning technique, I'm pretty sure. Um,
So poison purge.
so I know electrolysis, so I can instantly distill water.
This is true.
Or well, actually, hold on. Actually, the electrolysis turns it into pure hydrogen. Whoops! Don't do that. Um, no, but like I know ways to like purify water. Like that's basic survival.
You could
So,
you could bend and twist things to, like distill and purify water. Most definitely.
Pure hydrogen coffee. Yeah, so she's gonna like distill like a bunch of water, and then she's gonna use some of it to make coffee and some of it to refill freshwater barrels where she can.
Okay.
And
so would doing all that produce like any kind of I mean, I know it wouldn't have a smell or anything, that'd be stupid, but I'm trying to
making
figure out
coffee
if
sure as hell would.
yeah, the coffee would. Sure, fine.
I mean,
You actually, yeah. So you're up in the morning, and you distill the water. You get it set for coffee. You start brewing it, and the smell sort of wafts through the through the boat as some of the other sailors are pulling anchor and getting ready to head out. Most of the ones that are actually working to pull anchor to do that are focused on what they're doing, so they don't really react. But you do hear a female voice that you haven't really heard before that pops up as you're making the coffee. She sort of yawns real big, and she's, wait, why do I smell coffee?
is that in her language or in mine?
That's in the Kuchigami language.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
Shiori is very happy to have learned the word coffee in Kuchigami.
yes. So you hear that and you turn and you see that it is a female. She's dressed very much like a sailor. She
Are we
she
talking
has
about like East India Trading Company sailor, or are we talking about like what is it? Grace O'Malley kind of sailor? Because both of these are good, but like, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about like more like pirate chic going on, or
pirate? Yeah, it has a touch of pirate to
Okay.
it. Particularly because she does have some degree of like that same sort of tribal military style gear that Achike had going on.
yeah, okay,
She's clearly both soldier and sailor.
sure, naval like regiment kind of thing, yeah.
And she reminds you quite a bit actually of Sume in a way, because
Aw.
she's got this big, crazy, massive hairdo thing going on. And she has a tiger tail.
Ah!
Mm-hmm.
Shiori's gonna kind of look at her and just kind of like pause and stare for a moment, like, oh, hello there. But she'll like after a sec, she'll like Wait, actually, did she say anything? Notice or say anything?
She's sort of looking around to try to see if she can find the coffee, and then she spots you, and then oh, that makes sense. I guess you had coffee, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sort of tilts your head
Yeah.
at you. You okay, kid?
Oh, sorry. You just remind me of someone. Yeah. I made coffee. If you want some.
I remind you of your little friend. I saw her.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Eh.
It's the hair and but sorry, I didn't mean to stare.
You're fine. Yeah. So coffee.
Yeah. I kind of can't exist without it.
She sort of makes a gesture as if she's going to, she's asking permission without saying it out loud, but she clearly wants some of your coffee. Anyway.
Yeah, she's gonna just absolutely pour her a cup of coffee.
Yep. And before long, as you're doing so, other people start to wake up and get going, and you sort of put the coffee together in the what's it called on a ship? Doesn't the kitchen on a ship have a different name?
The galley.
Yeah, that's it. You sort of had done the coffee thing in the galley because that makes sense, and as you start to get going and other people start to come in, you see from their garb, it's very clearly that these two are the cooks for the ship.
Awesome.
And it's a male, female, perhaps a couple. They came at the same time. And both of them have sort of...
Nope, I'm not gonna do that. Never mind, go ahead. I was gonna say something inappropriate, but Zero's here.
Okay, thank you, Zero.
Not safe for Zero.
So the two of them look, they have very similar, Sarah was going to say something inappropriate, but will not say it because there's Zeros here.
Yeah, and it's in SFZ, so I can't.
Anyway. So, the two of them come in,
They're not both women.
they're two, a male and a female. They're yeah. But they have very similar facial features, and you see tusks essentially.
Ooh.
They have very stout facial features and tusks.
Okay, so is this like boar tusks or elephant tusks?
Boar.
Boar. Okay.
And the male of the two, he sort of snorts and already in my kitchen. Thank you.
Yeah. What?
He sort of fusses at you for being in his kitchen before he was, and the female boar woman just sort of smacks him on the back of the head. Hush up. And
Shiori smiles. I'm assuming. Does everyone know that I can speak Kuchigami yet, or am I still surprising people by speaking their language when I'm just like a tiny native?
They assume you can, based on you being here and being allowed to stay on the boat, but it
Okay.
hasn't really been confirmed for everyone on the ship, necessarily.
Or like her like fluency in it either. So.
Right.
Yeah. So Shiori's gonna smile and say, "I didn't mean to get in your way. I was actually coming to look for you. I assume you guys are the cooks, right?
Yes.
How are we doing on food stores? I'm a pretty capable fisher."
Me too, says like a sort of a gruff voice that walks in. You see this sort of broad-looking fellow, and he gives you this wide smile that you see he has very, very many long, sharp teeth.
He's a shark.
And he just gives you this like grin and goes, "Yeah, me too. Let's see what you got,
I'm
kid."
gonna call you Tony. What? Yeah, absolutely.
He just gives you a smile, big toothy grin, like literal toothy grin, and the cook sort of looks at you and says, "Well, if you can fish up more food for us as we're starting to head out here, that'd be great."
Okay. What? I didn't catch your name. What was it?
I need to make a name for the cook. Did not do that. I should have done that.
I need a name for a cook and name for a sharkman.
Hold on. Jaga.
Saga. Alright, then that's a shark?
Yep, that is shark.
Okay.
And then Ushi and ha. They're not walruses, they're boars.
You're a little behind. Oh, wait, never mind. I didn't realize Ellen said walrus again.
There you go. Goshi and Jinha.
Jenna's a good name. Alright. Sure, I say, how much do we need?
So, the two sort of look at each other and, well, we're not entirely sure.
I'll just go until we refill our stores. Is that okay?
Yes, that.
We can cook what people need, and we can salt and we can cure the rest to let it keep a little longer. And if anyone knows any ice techniques, we can keep it for a lot longer.
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, alright then. Well,
You have ranks in sense motive, right?
I do.
Actually,
You need me to roll?
you can do your roll for your ESP thing that you always have.
It's always running, yeah. Hold on, let me find the threshold for it. Yeah, ESP. Perform requirements 11 DC 25. And it is chakra control.
I believe it's still something
8.
you need to roll.
It is. I don't auto-cast this one just yet.
I mean, you do, but you have to roll for it.
Yeah, but it's a DC 25.
Yeah.
Ouch. Come on, dice. I'm gonna action point it.
There we go.
There you go.
Alright. So, yeah. With your ESP going, you've got, like, the tiger, she, is very much into the idea of coffee. She hasn't had, apparently really likes coffee and hadn't had in a while. so she's glad that you have that. The two boars are going to set up to cook. They're happy that you're going to help refuel the stores, though they seem sort of weary of precisely how. And in particular, the shark, you get a sense when you, because he was actually the one that said, sadly not, when you referenced ice techniques. He sort of seems to have a general disdain for perhaps precisely ice ninjutsu. I'm not sure why.
Oh, okay. Well, he picked a bad place for that because we were in Snowland.
Yeah, that's why he never went topside.
Fair enough. Alright. 0.
Yeah.
Alright. So Shiori's gonna go up, go topside with him. Like,
Yeah. When you go topside, he sort of pulls and grabs what is essentially a spear from the near the barracks that was just sort of leaning there, and he goes with you topside. And as soon as you're topside, he looks to the ship, sees that it's gone a far ways away from the started making its way away from the continent itself, and just sort of looks down at the water, kind of sniffs the air a little bit, and then one of the people that were manning the boat most of the night, it was one of the nightly lookouts, you see he has large black raven wings. He looks at him and goes,
is he the one that got shot last night?
No, he's another raven.
Okay.
He looks at
Chaga.
Chaga. He sort of looks at Chaga and rolls his eyes and goes, "Yes, we're at least somewhat distance away from the water where it's going to be a little bit warmer now. Go." And then Chaga just full on jumps into the water.
Alright, Shiori's gonna yell to him, "You got 10 minutes!" She's not fishing until he's out of the water.
Right, of course. So
she's like, most fish in 10 minutes, go.
He clearly just sort of swims through and around the surface, or under the water. You see like his shadow silhouette flowing through. He's very at home in the water, obviously. And he comes back up 10 minutes later with, we'll say, 5 or 6 fish, like shish kebabbed on his spear, and like 5 or 6 more in his mouth.
Okay. Like, we'll say like 15 fish max.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh boy.
And then he climbs back up. He sort of takes his shish kebab spear and puts it onto a strap that was around his attire, his outfit, and climbs his way back up. Looks to a bucket that was set to the side for his fishing and just sort of eat that.
Shiori like steps up onto the rail. She's kind of being a little bit more cocky than usual because she's like, I can though. She like
they don't know
steps
that,
up onto the rail. Yeah, I know. She steps up onto the rail. She's gonna like backflip off the rail, like, and land on the surface of the water. And then she's gonna lightning strike. So she's gonna call up her thing, which I think is a DC 22. Yep. And mother bitch, what is the fucking problem? Action point. What are you doing? Okay, she's gonna try and lightning, but it doesn't exactly work. She just puts her hand up and is like, oh boy.
You can try it again.
No, I think she wants to do something even crazier.
I mean, you spent the chakra for it, but yeah, you can try.
I don't know. Can I recover the chakra to fire a lightning dragon instead?
Do me a chakra control roll.
Sure. Something like that.
Definitely.
So just like the lightning strike isn't like coalescing, so she's just like, fuck it, and just recovers the chakra into a dragon and just fires it down into the water. Which is also a 22. Dice, please don't fuck me.
There
25.
Yep.
Which is lightning dragon blast. So yeah, so she just the chakra kind of forms into a dragon in the air above her, and she just does that. You know that scene from the Overwatch animation where it's Genji and he catches the dragon and guides it around him and launches it back at Hanzo. She does that. So she puts her hand up and it doesn't kick off, and so she just goes does the imagination thing, and it just forms in this massive dragon, and she guides it back down into the water.
Yep.
So how many fish can reflex save this?
Alright. So the plan that I had for this, for the amount of fish that you're going to get, I'm going to have you roll a D100 plus 20. I'm giving you at least 20 that you get, but you'll get more with your higher roll.
Sure.
And they're just sort of gonna follow the dragon as it comes back up, because you're guiding the chakra and the water and the... Yeah.
95.
Close enough.
I just dunked on a school of fish. So yeah, she swings this dragon through the water, and it just this broiling mass of fish just floats to the top, and she's just that's more than I was expecting.
Okay, you're still fairly close to the boat, and the boat's not that tall, so your ESP is still within range.
Yeah.
The shark looks down at you and goes, "Not bad. Not bad at all." And then inside his head, from your emotions thing, damn!
It's just a Gretsuko, just...
Yep. So, yeah. You've pretty much restocked them. Quite a bit.
Hell yes.
And now...
Everyone eats good tonight.
Yeah, and probably most of the rest of the nights to get back home. I mean, better than they were. it's still quite a bit of people. So it's not like they're all going to be eating like kings necessarily, but
Right.
it's still, much better than they were, and their stocks are more or less overfilled almost at this point.
Yeah. That's why I said everyone eats good tonight, because I know we can't hold that many.
Yes, I know, Owen. It's a expression. So, you do this, and then, sort of lightning strike, dragon roar, and then everyone is happy with you, impressed, some measure of, like, admiration, and all of them are impressed by it. At least all that was on top side. Actually, some that were below too, because everybody heard it. And then you are free to probably go into, once you've stocked up the shelves, you're free to go into medic mode to do your checkup of everyone on ship.
Sure. So Shiori's gonna go start with the commander. Oh no! First, she's gonna go see Wallachi.
Okay. She's still down in the. She woke up, got her some some food. You aren't there whether or not she got any of your coffee either, but probably. And then she goes. She goes to the.
It's how we exist.
The med bay mostly. And then. So you find her down there.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah, she's gonna like go up to her, kind of like cheery and happy, and like everyone's like been praising her, and she can hear it whether they say it or not. She's like, yeah, kind of bouncy and excited. She's like, "Morning."
Nice job out there.
Thanks. That was a lot of fun.
Clearly.
I'm kind of glad I recovered the what I was trying to do. I think it would have been using a little too much chakra to do what I originally planned, but that was still effective.
Very much so. I saw that chakra recovery you did there, by the way.
Thanks. That's kind of one of my things I'm known for in the village, is having a little bit of an above average chakra control. It's nothing special. It's just,
It comes naturally to medics.
I think medicine comes naturally to those with good control.
Nah. Do you need
There's
something?
a lot of fine tuning to not cook people. Yeah. I was wondering, I kind of would like to give everybody a checkup. If that's okay with you, like, can I be allowed to, like, just check up on everybody? I don't want to, cut into anything you're doing. And I mean, I know everyone in here needs you, and I'm not as skilled as you are with triage, so.
Well, most everyone on the ship is fairly healthy, but I understand.
I kind of need to make sure of that myself. No offense, I'm trust you implicitly, but it would help me if I knew for sure, and I checked them up myself.
That's fine.
Okay.
You want to check up the other folks on the boat? Go right ahead. I will warn you though. That might take a while. There's quite a number of people on this boat.
I'm pretty fast.
I saw that too.
Okay. I think I'll be okay though. Thank you.
All right.
I will keep in mind that we are a big boat.
Oh, and as far as the checkup of the commander, He's perfectly
That's
fine.
exactly where I'm gonna start. She's gonna head out the door before she has a chance to say anything.
Alright, fair enough.
One of those, she's like really excited, and it's like kind of the way that she gets like some more like information about people, and like her like recon, kind of like personal recon, like social recon, is giving people checkups.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like the captain is a prime target for that because he's very mysterious and spooky. So yeah, Shiori's gonna go see if he's in his cabin.
So you go to his cabin, or his chambers, as it were. You see that his doors are shut and locked, and he actually has two guards posted in front of his door. And you see that the two guards, one of them is the two people that are flanking the doorway, both of which are holding like standard run-of-the-mill swords, and are wearing sort of like a mesh of the same sort of pirate garb that the Tiger Girl had, and ninja gear, and you see from their stance, you're easily able to tell that one of the guards is got the same sort of claws and fur on the back of his arms, much like the one who was asleep or comatose before.
Oh, okay.
He's another bear. And then the other one appears mostly human. You don't see anything right off that strikes you as a big like animal feature or anything like that, but the two of them sort of flank the doorway and see you approach. And the one that, not the bear, but the other one, sort of gives you a look, and if you're looking for the commander, you won't find him right now.
Oh, where is he?
Two sort of look at each other. He's in his, the bear speaks up, he's in his meditation room for now.
Oh, goodness, I hate to interrupt that. I'm going around doing checkups, so I just wanted to make sure everyone was doing okay, and Luachi suggested starting with the captain, but that's blatantly a lie. But I don't want to interrupt his meditation. I can come back around for him.
See that you do.
Would it be okay if I started with you two?
They sort of look at each other.
Since I'm already here.
They sort of look at each other and both sort of shrug simultaneously.
Okay. Shiori's gonna do her thing.
What I'm going to do for this, I'm going to say you can do a treat injury roll, and assuming it's good, which it probably will be because your treat injury skill's huge.
I don't know, the dice have been psychotic tonight.
Fair. But I'm sort of going to let you roll I'm sort of going to let you roll with the treat injury skill for most of this, rather than you trying to do treat injury for everyone on the boat.
Right, okay. Yeah. So just roll it, and whatever it is, that's how well I do.
Yeah, for the most part.
Like, over the course of the boat. Please, dice. Please. Ugh!
25 is pretty good.
25 is pretty good, but that was not enough to help last time. So...
well, it wasn't necessarily enough to see what was wrong with the bear that was comatose.
Yeah, I know. That's what pissed me off.
Yes.
It was like I could not roll above a 10.
But regardless, So you sort of do a checkup over these two, and both of them appear to be fairly healthy. A little bit, a little malnourished, but probably your extra bunch of fish will probably help with that. But aside from that, they appear, fairly strong, decently healthy. In giving him a once over, you see that the one that looked mostly human has a very hard. It's not exactly a shell. It's more like a. Basically, it is sort of like a shell. It's just not obviously very much a shell, but he's got a very hard.
Turtle Club?
Huh?
Is he turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Yes. He's clearly got some degree of like hard skin armor, natural armor thing going on his back. But they're healthy, they're happy. Roll for me. Listen.
A13.
Okay. So you check them over. You don't hear anything right off. But you give them a once over. They seem fine. And then, kind of abruptly, they sort of look at each other and then look to you, and then sort of like, not rudely or anything, but they are just sort of like, you can move on now. Work with the other people on the boat. I'm sure by the time you finish with them, the commander will have returned. And your detect emotions thing very clearly gets a sense the two of them are worried about something. They heard something.
Can I detect emotions from anyone else? And also, can I listen closer?
There's
can I,
no one else.
Take 10 on it or whatever, or
there's no one else nearby that you sense with your detect emotions. No.
There's no way his room is that big that he's outside of my range. Unless he's reverse summoned himself to another plane of fucking existence, he is not outside of my range for ESP.
Unless he's...
So suck it. Second of all,
his meditating...
Unless he's shielded from it.
Unless his meditating is not in his room.
Or if his meditation involves astral projection, because if his body is not there to have thoughts, then okay. Or his brain is not there to have thoughts, rather, then okay. But, oh, wait. Oh, or if it's just in another room. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Then where's his meditation room?
You on it?
Oh. Well, she's not going to interrupt it anyway, so...
Yeah.
Yeah,
you do
okay.
get this. You do get the sense that the guards are worried about something, but other than that, they are sort of rushing you away.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Yeah, so Shiori just kind of like, so I don't hear anything?
Nope.
Alright, do I get anything deeper from the ESP, or?
If you sort of focus on it, you sort of zero in on the idea that sort of impulse from their mind is, they're worried about something in his room. So, as soon as it's almost as if you get the sense that as soon as you leave and that you're out of sight, they're going to go into his room to check on something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Shiori will walk away.
Okay. moving on to train with the, or to heal the others? Or appearing to?
Sure. Yeah. Shiori's gonna walk away and around the corner.
Okay.
Does she hear the door open?
The two of them are sort of fidgety and anxious, so yes, you do clearly hear the rattling of a key in the lock and the door being opened.
Third eye technique.
I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which is ninjutsu at rank. Or requires... I can create it within 100 feet of me. Or no, I can create it and it can move 100 feet from me, so I'm well in range of that.
Oh, yeah.
Shiori would keep the material components on her, like enough to make a couple of them at the very least, so she's got these little bags of sand.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, she gonna craft it, and it is a... That's gonna be a 17. 28, it passes. This is 22.
Yep.
And
then you send the third eye
so
after
yeah, she's gonna make it. She's gonna like slip it in the door behind them before it closes.
Yep. Let's see.
So it is an orb, similar to an eyeball using chakra, used to spy and scout around. Can see 150 feet forward, standard vision. While the eye remains fragile, is very diminutive and difficult to spot. It carries the same spot modifier as the user and is subject to genjutsu's darkness, fog, and any other factor that would affect this ability to receive visual information about their surroundings.
Okay. So it's and it's purely visual. Visual information.
Yes, there is no sound.
Okay.
There's only visual information. I can get ear projection, it's on my list, but it does not work as well as the visual capabilities of the third eye technique.
Yeah. Alright. So you sort of span your swing the third eye in, and you get a look into the commander's room. And looking around, his room is, for being on a warship, his room is extremely, like, lavish and comfortable. And
I'm gonna move the eye, like, up and into a corner, like, to where it's kind of, like, partially hidden by the rafters. It's a very small item, but it's probably a little bit bigger than a ping pong ball.
Yeah, it's considered, what was it,
fine.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Child's ball fist.
Yeah, so a little bit bigger than ping pong ball.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so she's gonna put it in a position where it can see the majority of the room, but it's not, like, obvious to someone just, like, looking directly at it. Or, like, it's not in line of sight if someone were to look around, rather.
Yeah. It's up in the corner, like where the web of a spider would probably hide, just sort of up to...
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Few people
Like
tend
security
to look
camera
up,
position.
so...
Right, exactly. And Shiori knows this as a ninja. Nobody looks up.
Yep. When you place it into the room, the room is, like, extremely decorated, lavish. It's very pretty. And there are a few very key features to this room. The two guards, as they come in, and what they were clearly worried about, was a, like, massive great sword, and it's like rune and carved. It's beautiful looking sword, and it's bigger than both of them are. And it has, so it's a large sword. We're talking like Buster Sword, Cloud Sword here. And it is just sort of sitting, leaned against the wall, or was sitting, leaned against the wall. And it has the two guards that have rushed in, basically rushed in, see it, pick it up, set it back against the wall, and are sort of dusting it off as you're watching.
Oh, so it like fell over.
So, and then you sort of gaze the eye, you look around more of the room. You see this large, probably like, it almost looks regal, royal bed frame, because you remember Commander's huge, he needs a big bed. And so he has that, and then
I bet he does.
So, and then like the biggest other features to this room is like a writing desk, and these 3 pictures, and they're like well crafted paintings, and there's 3 of them. One is sitting just above the bed frame itself, one is above the desk on the like opposite wall, and then one is on the 3rd wall away from the door, just basically to decorate the room. And these 3 paintings, you see that the one over the bed is a picture of a sort of like watercolor acrylic style painting of the commander himself. And it's just, it heightens up his features and his decorated status and things like that. You even see the sword is resting next to him in the picture, which, because he's huge and the sword's huge, it's actually just like a normal longsword for him.
Right.
And so his sword is sitting next to him, and it's just a very, like, Shiori has appreciation for art.
Very
and
much.
Whoever made this painting has exceptional skills. It's like a brilliant piece of artwork. And then on the opposite wall, which is actually close to the wall where the eye's sort of hanging out in the corner, is a picture of it's again the commander, but the picture shows his back as he's kneeling in what appears to be a very beautiful throne room of sorts, and up on what is obviously the throne is what, for all intents and purposes, to those who are in this chat that would know it, the person sitting on the throne appears to be a very royal and regal looking female dragonborn.
Hey.
And he's
President Queen Dragon.
something like that. And he's just, regally bowing, kneeling in front of her in the painting. And then on the other side, the 3rd painting, which is actually over his writing desk, is what appears to be a very, like, the details are a little exaggerated for sake of artwork,
Sure.
but it appears to be a like, very high aerial view of a continent or an island of some sort.
Ooh. Okay.
Um,
Ooh, a caldera. Nice. An active caldera.
And other than that, the room is empty. The two guards sort of look to each other, share a conversation, which you can't hear with the third-eyed thing. And then make sure the sword is dusted and cleaned, and then they hurry up back out to the doorway, lock the door behind them, and then they're back outside.
Alright. So, Shiori, since using the third eye technique doesn't keep her from moving, she's like sat with her back to the wall around the corner where they can't see her. But for anyone else, she's just like holding her coffee cup and kind of has her head bowed. It looks like she's almost meditating or just like really enjoying a cup of coffee.
Yep.
So that if anyone walks by while she's like projecting while she can't actually see from her own eyes, well, I think she can. But either way, it's just like she wants to be able to focus on what she's seeing.
Yeah. She can still see from her own eyes, but she's focused on looking in the room, and you've pretty much gotten all the big features that's in the room right now.
Okay. Alright.
So,
once they leave, Shiori's gonna move the eye to look at the sword closer.
Okay. Roll for me, ninja lore.
Ninja lore, the one I don't have.
Well, you have it, but not a lot of it.
21?
Yeah. That's decent enough. So, the runes that are carved...
I'm gonna get much better than that, sorry.
Well, yeah. It's just because they are something that's vaguely recognizable, but they're changed a little bit because of the different culture, so it's a little bit tricky.
Sure. Like, they could have been derived from the same writing language I use, but they're... Okay. But they're, like, in a different dialect or different, like... Yeah, okay.
Yep, precisely. These runes that are on the sword look very much like the likes of like Funjutsu sealing techniques. So
interesting.
The sword is potentially.
I guess I couldn't. I was gonna say, could I roll Funjutsu to try and like decipher what exactly is going on with the technique? Like, at least if I can see what the, like, if I can figure out what the structure of it is, I can get an idea of what it's doing.
Do you actually have ranks in Funjutsu?
I have Funjutsu. I have ranks, yes. I was going for summoning, remember?
Oh, yeah. What is your...
5.
Is 5 how many ranks in Funjutsu you have?
Oh, I have
6.
3 ranks?
3 ranks.
I have 3 ranks.
Your Funjutsu is 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just the font is very small.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can roll a Funjutsu check then.
Fuck you! Nope, not good enough.
Yeah.
Fuck off,
really.
Shiori.
Not really. It has 2, like, independent glyphs to it. One seems vaguely familiar, but the, like, other dialect to it from the Kuchigami makes it a little difficult for you to try to decipher. But
Alright.
Not really. I mean, the eye can hang out in here for a while.
It can, but I also, like, if I move more than 100 feet away from it, it explodes. It doesn't explode, but it dissolves.
Right, yeah.
So, I'm gonna assume that the boat is more than 100 feet long.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's gonna like drop the technique. The eye dissolves without a trace.
Yep.
And she's gonna get up and not walk back across her own path, but like walk down the hall back up to keep checking on more people.
Yep. And then you're going through the rest of your checkups with various people and whatnot.
Yep.
So, in going through, checking up on everybody, most everybody seems fairly content to, especially with your display of Lightning Dragon earlier, they are willing to let you look them over, give them a once-over, that sort of a thing.
Of course.
All inclusive, with like everybody included, including the 5 higher ups, the commander, all that. The total number of people on this boat, not counting Shiori, the total number of animal people is 40. So,
Okay.
checking up, spending like maybe 5 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes with each individual person. You're working like 2.5 hours or a little more.
A little bit, somewhere in there.
3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that. And you get a general consensus of how many people and what sort of folks are on this boat. You have 5 folks that appear avian in nature, including the one that's in the med bay from the one that was shot previously.
Yeah.
The avian folks, 3 of them have black wings, like black feathered wings, and 2 of them have brown. Sort of closer to wings of like a bird of prey rather than a crow.
Like a hawk or an eagle.
Yep.
Okay.
There are 10 in total, 10 bug folk. Some of which are in the med bay, you had already looked at. And they're fine. 8 of the 40 are in the med bay. So you have 4 3 in the med bay that are bugs, and then the rest in the med bay appear to be there's one that's another, like that one previous guard that had like the turtle shell thing going on. 1 turtle, 1 shark, one of them has a monkey tail, and in all, you have turtle, tiger, shark, monkey, bear, boar, dog. There's 3 dogs.
Pupper.
There are 3 folks that have like a sort of amphibious nature to them and have like webbed fingers and frills around their neck, and they're salamanders.
Salamanders, yay!
And one is, she sort of keeps to herself into the shadows. She dresses more like a civilian than a soldier, and she's the only one that's a little bit iffy when you get too close. And you realize that she actually has she kept when you started to get too close, she kept a pair behind her back. But then when you start to give her a medical checkup, she just sort of sighs and lets you go. She actually has 2 sets of limbs.
Ooh.
And then in looking her over, you see that she has some sort of perhaps spider related spinnerets in her wrists.
Alright, cool. Shiori's gonna kind of go, these are really interesting. I've never seen anything like this.
You're not from around here.
I'm not. I hope I'm not making you too uncomfortable.
It's fine. Everyone here seems to like you.
I'm not going to make fun of you or be afraid of you or anything like that. I can kind of tell when people are uneasy around me, and I don't really need to look too deep to see that you kind of are.
Nah, it's fine.
You're sure?
Yeah.
I'm Shiori, by the way.
I keep forgetting to make names.
Please tell me her name is RNA, that'd be great.
What was it?
RNA. It's like a generic spider girl name, don't worry about it.
How do you spell that?
Find something better.
Right, that's fine, but how do you spell that?
ARANEA.
I'll use that for my little translator thing I've been making their names with.
Oh, okay. I think it may come from somewhere like the genus name for spiders, or like the family name for spiders.
There you go. She sort of just gives you she gives you a smile, and you see her fangs, and she's Danesk. And then she offers to actually shake your hand with the upper left arm.
Oh, okay. She already shakes her hand. I don't... Never mind, don't worry about it. Sorry, I have kind of an unusual fighting style, and I'd be really interested in seeing how well, like, your webbing would work with that. But it's okay if that's not... I don't want to, like, impose or anything.
I'm not a fighter. That's not what I do.
I understand. I
can make you something, though, if you want a new outfit.
Oh, that'd be really cool. I think these might get a little heavy, if we're going somewhere warmer.
Oh yes.
I didn't really pack for desert weather or tropical weather.
Tropical, yes. Desert, not so much. I don't think you'll go that far inland.
I'm familiar with deserts, but if it's tropical, I'm gonna need something that breathes a little bit more. Maybe something with a little less flow to it, a little more like range of motion. It's whatever you think would be best.
I've made outfits for the smaller folks on the ship before. I think this dimension would fit for you pretty well.
Oh, thank you. I mean, if you want to take measurements, I'll be free in a little while. I think I've only got one person left to check up on.
Let me guess.
Well, technically two. I don't think I need to check up on Malachi. She's probably got that covered.
But you do have to check on Commander Lolowo, don't you?
I do.
Good luck with that.
Thanks, I'm pretty sure I'll need it. Um, Thank you, Doness. I'll come see you later.
I look forward to it. She actually gives you a wink.
Me too. Shiori kind of like smiles and bows and goes, "Alright, I'll see you later." And then so many cute girls on this ship. You're definitely hitting all of my buttons though, so it's like spiders and bunnies and
Yep. Thought you might like that.
yeah, you know me a little too well. I'm kind of worried about that.
So now then, you sort of finished up with the rest of the boat, and you head back up to the commander's chambers. And you actually find that he seems to have returned to his chambers. The two guards have, or at least when you get there, the guards have been relieved of their posts, so you can assume that he's back.
I don't think he needs to be guarded on a regular basis.
No. But he did have someone he doesn't entirely trust on the ship. Someone who could be fairly crafty, and he does have things in his room he wants to keep hidden. So.
Yeah, Shiori's gonna knock on the door.
Yep.
Tap, 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 tap.
Mm-hmm. And you hear his wonderful, tinny, echoey, deep voice. He sort of speaks out. Yes.
It's Shiori.
I heard you have been moving around the ship checking up on people.
I have been, and I would like to check up on you if you don't mind.
This ought to be interesting.
Shiori does have her ESP running.
I know.
Alright. Yep. She goes in, she, like, tries to be respectful. He's, like, 10 feet taller than her.
Yeah, he's, for those in the audience here who don't know what this guy looks like, he's roughly, like 7.5, 8 feet tall. He's got, dark, sort of gray, skin to most of his lower body. His upper body, though, is, like, full-on black. Like, not just dark, but black. It's like shadowed black. And the shadowed black runs around his arms in like bands. And he has glowing yellow eyes. No real facial features unless you get really, really close. And then he's like covered in his shoulders and head have like full plate style armor. But his chest is bare. He doesn't actually have a chest plate. He just has like the shoulder gauntlets sort of a thing. You can still see the bands of black in his on his arms. And coming into his room again, Shiori will save.
Yeah, absolutely. That's still my best one, and I tanked it last time, so let's see if I do better this time. 23.
Yep. Okay. So he's still very, very, like, intimidating. But you sort of steel yourself a little bit.
Shiori clicks into doctor mode the second she crosses the threshold and feels the effect. She's just like, nope, busy.
Right.
Zero time for this shit.
Yep.
Not tonight.
Alright. And he sort of... You get from your detect emotions thing, detect thoughts, he's actually... He's sort of indifferent to your whole medical checkup thing. He doesn't really care whether you do or don't do it, as long as you don't get too intrusive. He's willing to comply. You do get the barest hints that his indifference comes from a understanding that you are powerful. It's not exactly respect, but he knows that you are stronger than you look. And that actually kind of impresses him. But it impresses what was hostile into indifferent.
Yeah.
And then he just sort of shrugs and, if you want to look me over, I'm fine. I can tell you that much. But go right ahead.
That's okay. I don't go in assuming there's anything wrong with anyone. I just want to confirm that for myself.
So,
like I told Mulashi, I assume she has the entire ship taken care of from top to bottom. But I feel more comfortable confirming that with my own eyes.
that's fine. You sort of look him over. Well, he, how direct and physical is this checkup?
I mean, just as much as with anyone else.
Right. With most everyone else it didn't matter. With him it kind of does.
Okay. The usual, ESP running to make sure that she doesn't go over, like, a major line that she wasn't aware existed. But, like, you know, the usual, like, heart and breathing and, like, reflexes, like that kind of thing. Like, pupil reaction. She does have the light technique, so...
He does not... You do get the sense from your detect emotions that, and he can easily do so because of his height. He does not want you to physically touch any part of his upper torso that's shrouded in black.
That's shrouded in black.
Yeah, it's like a...
Interesting.
It's... Now that you're closer and you're sort of looking at it, you see that there are humanoid features there. But it's like this it's almost like a very thin mist or smoke that's shrouding the rest of his upper features in black.
Interesting. So his face as well.
Yes. And if you try to check his pupils, that doesn't much work. Because you can't really see his pupils. You just see where his pupils are from his eyes glowing.
Okay. So Shiori will probably usually do her thing, and if she gets, like, if she'll like go to like touch like like I don't know, like is it like his shoulders and like chest as well are shrouded by this?
His shoulders not so
Like
much because
part of it?
his shoulders have the armor. So
Right, but I mean like the exposed places where I could see like the neck and things like that.
yeah.
Okay, so she's going to like reach to check his pulse and then like pause if he like starts like feeling apprehensive, like of her trying to touch somewhere that's like covered with this like concealing mist. She's going to like pause, and I don't know if you want to have him roll to tell whether or not she tips her hand that she can sense more than she appears to. But she's actually going to switch to like checking at his wrist instead.
He sort of gives you this look.
I can't tell because I can't see his fucking face.
I know. But the glowing eyes look more towards you directly. Interesting.
What? Are you not supposed to have the pulse?
No. You just seem to feel what I didn't want you to do without me saying anything.
Oh, I'm not quite sure of the substance that's covering you, and I didn't know if it was fragile or if it was some kind of limited genjutsu or what it was, so I didn't really want to disturb it as long. I hadn't really noticed that it was on your neck as well, so...
This is part of who I am, much like this arm.
How do you mean?
He sort of taps. He taps at his armor.
Some way?
He taps at his armor, and whereas most, like, even though his voice is echoey, like it's sort of hollow inside his helmet, when he taps at his armor, his shoulder, what are these, polyhedrons or something?
Pauldrons.
Yeah. Normally when those are tapped at, there's a place in between the actual shoulder and where the metal of the actual armor is.
Sure, there's resonance because it's not form-fitting, it's just plated.
Precisely.
It's muted when he hits it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. She's gonna, so the armor doesn't come off?
No.
Can't imagine that's terribly comfortable.
He rolls his shoulders just like any other person would. He seems to have even though it's heavy metal, appears to be heavy metal plate, full plate, he maneuvers it naturally.
Interesting. So I have chakra detection, like chakra sense.
Yeah.
What can I tell about him from that?
Actually, yeah. Being fairly close to him. This close to him, and with him sort of... He's actually kind of... His indifference has changed just slightly in the detect emotions. He's sort of feeling you out. Because... you piqued his interest too.
Mm-hmm.
And he... you get the sense that though doesn't appear to be using it directly, he has a vast reservoir of chakra. His chakra signature is huge. He's not using it, but it's there. It's almost like his chakra comes more naturally to him than any other ninja you've seen.
With the exception of the Kages, right?
With the exception of the Kages, though, the Kages...
I can probably detect the split between their chakra and the demon chakra.
Right. Whereas his is his.
Right. His is core. His is all the way through. Interesting.
He's okay with you giving him look over. You realize his vast reservoir of chakra, and it is very akin slightly to the Jinjuriki, the Kage's, because a lot like how Gaara's chakra just sort of naturally flowed around him in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
His chakra does the same thing, except his is his.
Black mist.
Yeah. Yep.
I suppose technically a demon animal would be an animal.
Something akin, yeah.
Yeah, so he's like a tailed beast faunus. That's interesting. That explains why he doesn't have like a specific animal form as well.
He's interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm just theory crafting at this point. I'm not. Anyway,
Yep.
I'm not gonna try and dig too deep into your character dev, because I don't know anything. Because I completely whiffed the last time I tried that. So yeah, Shiori's gonna
There's no more fish.
Shiori's gonna thank him. And there's a pile of fish. Dig up all you want.
Yeah.
Hundreds of fish. Shiori's gonna thank him for, saying, for letting her check up on him.
Yep.
She's going to pause at the door. She's gonna she's seen what's in the room, but she's not going to tip her hand on that. She's just now that she's back out of doctor mode, and she's gonna kind of look around the room. Is the sword still in the room?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's actually right next to him. He's you caught him when he was at his sitting at his writing desk. He sort of turned the chair and himself around. And he had the sword resting, leaning against his writing desk.
Okay. She's gonna kind of look at it and go, "That's a very beautiful sword."
Thank you.
I like the. I don't mean to be too
Curious.
nosy, but I am. Are these seals?
I suppose.
They seem kind of like the way we do our protection seals and things like that, and I just was
Well, maybe you'd get a kick out of this. You seem to have a passion and enjoyment, natural tendency to teleport, yes?
I do. Yeah.
That might have been what you recognized. Something on this seemed familiar. He stands up to his full height, walks across the room, which is huge, by the way. He walks across the room, away from his desk and his sword, and just sort of holds his hand up, and then
Oh, he can just summon the sword. Oh, that's incredible. Can I kind of get a sense of what kind of teleportation it is? Is it just straight up blink, or
it's akin
is there
to blink.
an elemental?
It's
Okay.
akin to blink. There's no element associated with it, really. But it is very much a the reason it was familiar to you is when you had been initially reading up on the runes to learn the hand seals for your lightning displacement, lightning teleport. There were some things that were shared because you were using a teleportations technique. Um,
Right. You start with the same base and you add a little bit of flavor to it, like fire, lightning,
yeah,
wind.
precisely.
Yeah.
So this had sort of flavors of teleportations to it. That's why it seemed vaguely familiar.
Okay. Cool.
And he sort of holds the sword a little lower because his room is unfortunately not tall enough to house both him and his sword. So he sort of takes the sword and rests the sword back in his hand. And he says, and he sort of just looks to the sword with. He's very proud of this sword, admiration, sort of a thing.
Of course.
And he sort of looks at you, looks at the sword, and then just says, Jalasana. He's one of those folks that names his weapons.
Nice. Jalasana. It's a very good name. What is it? Do you mind if I ask what it means? I'm trying to pick up more fluency, but...
I suppose for you... You'll have to forgive me, I don't really know your tongue as well as IGK.
Just kind of break down what it means. I can speak, I can speak your language a little bit, at least well enough to be able to understand basic words.
Blade of Shadows.
Nice, okay. Alright, and so is he standing, like, since he got up and walked across the room, is he standing by the picture of, like, the throne?
He's standing by, yeah, he is.
She's gonna continue her I've never seen this room before bit, and she's gonna say, oh, that painting is interesting as well.
Yes.
Who's this? And she's gonna point to, like, the kneeling figure. Seems similar to you. Actually, I noticed you had a couple more in here that were of you.
Yes. I have an artist friend. She does great work. And
Don't say. This is fantastic.
she was willing to give me something to make to keep me thinking of home. You get the vague sense in your detect emotions thing that the reason he has these paintings is this actually appears to be he's a degree of homesick. He doesn't really like being away from home. And having the paintings in his chambers sort of help keep him not necessarily calmer due to like an anxiety thing or something, but he's much more at home in his chambers because of his paintings.
Right. Nothing like having a painting of yourself to make you feel right at home.
Well, the
right, no, I get it. It's fine.
Shiori, I'm assuming Shiori doesn't say something like that out loud.
No, God, that was just me snarking.
Yes. So, he sort of looks to the painting that you're looking at, with the Dragonborn on the throne. That is my queen. We, Kuchigami, do not... Our society doesn't exist the same as yours. We have a more... patriotic sense of government. We have a queen rather than a Kage over a military force, that sort of thing.
I mean, he's over more than just our fighting force, but I mean, the majority of us are warriors. Some of us are medics, some of us are entertainers, some of us are, well, teachers, but you don't get to be a teacher without learning the techniques that you're doing first, so.
But I'm assuming if Hachike has anything to say about it, you might just meet her. And I suggest you be on your best behavior.
Absolutely. I've never been around a queen, but if she's anything like the Kages, then she absolutely deserves to be treated with respect. Within reason.
Well, I believe I was the last that you needed to check upon.
Yes. Thank you for letting me sit down with you. Not that I could do much sitting, considering your height, but...
Power comes in the most interesting of packages, doesn't it?
That it does. Is there anything in particular you need me to do around the ship?
I assume with Woolichu could enjoy some help and perhaps you could train with her. It's going to be a long trek home.
I'm used to those. Well, we won't have to worry about food on the trip.
Yes. This time we will have plenty of food, and we have a more direct path in mind.
Mm-hmm. And no sea monsters. Don't think they'll forget last time.
If we came across something like that, I think we have a fair share of powerful folks on this ship that can deal with any sort of marine threat.
Of course.
And
well,
then
I will leave you to your whatever I interrupted a moment ago.
He nods. And then you head back out. And probably get out, shut his door, and then you're just like...
Yeah, just, oh god. Okay, and then you said a thing a couple days into training?
Yep. What sort of things were you... We won't deal with all the rolling and stuff for it.
Majority medical stuff, but I did want to take a look into minor rebirth and life preservation seal, which is slightly less complicated technique, but minor rebirth is 388 and life pres seal is 577. So that one requires 5 successes at 24 chakra control, 15 rank minimum. I'm way over that. But it's an S-class rank 8 technique. And then, what's the other one? 577. The life preservation, 18 at 2 successes. Bunjutsu seal. User is able to put a seal on a target to prevent it to use any technique to end its life, which has come into contact. I've come into an issue in with the past, so
Okay.
after Mitsu,
Um. Um. Wulachi doesn't really know Fuyon Jutsu, so she can't really help you a
okay,
lot.
that's fine.
Lot pres-
I've got my I've got my mother's notes and everything like that as well. So
But
like
she
sheet
can most certainly
stuff
help
like
you.
that.
She can most certainly help you train to learn minor rebirth. She knows that one.
Okay, cool. And I actually kind of like to learn some of the other major healing techniques, but I mean, I'll stick with what's within my range.
We'll work on your actual training and things once you've gotten your other dot figured out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have our little scene with the unconscious bear man as he wakes up.
Yay!
And his name is Alaz. A-H-L-O-Z. Alaz.
Oz.
You've been training. We get this short little montage of all of your. Once you're done some of your training and time and things, you come to the medical ward because you knew that he was supposed to wake up within 3 or so days. Sin, who's just a shorthand name of who is his buddy, Cinehash, the bug boy, or bug man, rather, is in the room as well as he wakes up. And Alaz is awake and conscious, but because of coma, he is very lethargic and sort of slow. And he, Wulachi has let you, sort of focus him as your patient. She's actually sort of curious on how well you would handle it, considering that Alaz was not conscious for all of your stuff. So he doesn't have any prior knowledge to you really whatsoever at all.
Sure.
So he just sort of looks up and blearily looks around and Sin, and then Cinehash is right there next to him very quickly. Boom.
I'm assuming Shiori sees this.
Yeah. You're there.
She has the urge to flicker over to him, but she's not really she's gonna carefully walk over. He's large bear man. He can smoosh.
Yes. And Alaz sort of just looks. Well, I didn't go out there and fight, but I'm stuck here, so I suppose something happened.
Shiori's gonna bring a glass of water with her.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Wait. Who are... She's here to help, says...
My name's Shiori. I'm, kind of your attending.
Allah sort of very slowly is trying to see if he's got his strength back. He's not moving because he knows better, but he's trying.
Need some help? Do you need some help sitting up? I'm not. Shiori would know how long he's been down. How long has he been down?
Easily, probably maybe a week.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been out of it for a while.
Um. Yeah, no. I was just trying to see like how fast atrophy onsets and whether or not he'd be.
Yeah, he's probably
Um.
got it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be severe, but it'd be like 2 weeks for muscle atrophy.
Okay.
So he wouldn't be like. He'd probably be a little stiff. He'd probably be a little weak, but he probably wouldn't be like um, suffering from any kind of like degradation at all. So, um, especially if they kept up like minor like PT while he was out of like just moving his limbs.
Yeah.
And Shiori would have absolutely done that. So,
That's what Ulichi.
right, exactly. So she's gonna kind of like help him sit up, kind of like prop the pillows up so he can like, sit up a little easier. Give him a glass of water.
He takes a couple sips of that. We're moving again.
Yeah, we're sailing. We're heading back home, I guess.
He looks to Sin for a second, and Sin's like, yeah, we ran out of some of our supplies, and we were going to be going back home to restock. Shiori here helped us out on food, so we're good on that end. And then he just sort of looks at you like, help.
I'm I'm from the mainland where you guys were, like further south in the village. You guys didn't really
I know that we went.
To be honest, nobody did anything. Oh, go ahead.
I know that we sent some inland, but I wasn't aware of how far. I suppose far enough to reach a village or two.
Yeah. Achike kind of got. Well, actually, it was us that captured her, but she got captured. I decided to talk with her and kind of ended up here as a result.
Well, she was always a good judge of characters, so they say. And you were a medic, like Ulichi, then?
I am, yes. My name's Shiori. I am a medic and a... Yes, I'm sorry. And I am, I'm a medic and a lightning specialist, and apparently a fisher and a cook and,
Someone with many talents,
then. Some are more talents, some are more necessities, but...
I suppose the commander got in... enjoyment of seeing such a lightning prowess, then.
What do you mean?
You said you were a lightning ninja. I know that...
I am.
Your folk are much more proficient in ninjutsu than any of us. I can only imagine the kind of tactics you can pull. And then Sin's like, oh, it was really cool. She launched the dragon into the... goes into, like, regaling Allah's for your dragon fisherman thing.
Uh-huh.
And Allah's
hundreds of fish! And Draga could only get a couple of them, like 20 of them, but she got 100. It was great.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my god!
And then Allah's just sort of places one of his clawed, furry-wristed hands on Sin's head. And he's just like, shush. It's almost like he's very softly turning off an alarm clock. It's just, come here. And Sin just sort of shrinks back. And Sin goes quiet, but your sense emotions thing is still going. But the two of them are happy. The two of them are very happy. And then Allah's sighs and he's like, perhaps they are on a boat. So Allah's just sort of like ruffles Sin's hair a little bit, which Sin's hair is very short, so he doesn't do a whole lot of ruffling, but and then he just looks to Shiori and, I suppose, doctor's orders. I am to rest here for a little while longer then.
Yeah. Well, I want you to be up and on your feet as soon as possible, but let's not, strain yourself.
Yeah. It might take a little bit of time. And then he sort of looks to Sin again and goes, "Hey, Sin. Go up to the barracks. Go get my journal. I want something to do while I'm stuck in this bed." "Oh, yeah. And then Sin just sort of rushes off.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he's left the med bay, Alaz looks to you and, was he hurt too?
Remind me what happened to him.
You're not entirely sure what happened to knock Alaz unconscious, but Sin had said that Alaz was not one of the soldiers that went out to fight. He was more on the boat to help train the soldiers, and
okay.
he was too much of an asset to send into an actual fight when they didn't know the strength of who they were fighting.
Sure.
So he wasn't allowed to actually go out there and fight. But Sin, however, was a soldier and had went out and fought. Sin has recovered since, but Sin was one of the folks that you had saw that had the large bruise from Miss Crazy Bow Lady.
Okay, yeah.
Sin wasn't the only one, obviously. There were a lot in the med bay that had the same wound, but
yeah. So yeah, if he asked if Sin was hurt, she's just gonna go, I shouldn't give you his private medical information, but, I mean...
He laughs and then coughs.
Careful.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, he, actually it wasn't just him. A lot of people got nailed by this, I don't know, she was an archer, I don't know, she was kind of off the rails. I grabbed, there was someone right before we left. I grabbed him. Wulachi made sure he was healed up, but There's still
He's
some
still in the
bruising,
med bay.
nothing major.
He's still recovering. He's like 4 beds over, asleep.
Yeah, she like gestures to him, but nothing major, nothing permanent. Just some. She'll get over it, or he'll get over it.
I guess. At least he's okay.
Yeah, that's the important part.
I keep telling him to be careful.
Okay.
But. Oh well. Thank you for your help, I guess.
You're welcome.
And then it's not like. Maybe. The med bay is pretty close to the actual rooms of the barracks. So like 3 or 4 seconds later, Singh comes back in with a little like brown, sort of leather bound journal, and hands it to Alaz. And with a like a quill pen type thing. And then Alaz takes that, and that's that scene, I suppose. Unless Shiori has any other questions for him.
No, I don't think so. Nothing I can think of anyway.
Alrighty. So, you train more for the rest of the trek, for the boat ride, and we end this session of sorts with the boat approaching land, and if Shiori's out on top deck, she sees from in the distance, a very present landmass, volcanic sort of oriented. There's a bit of smoke, and you wager it probably very much is akin to basically the map painting in map and painting form that you saw in the commander's room.
Mm-hmm.
And you approach the Kuchigami's continent, which I have yet to make a name for, but I will.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we'll call that. You're approaching the docks to this town, or this continent, and you see a great number of sharks working the docks.
Right. A shark means.
But yeah, we'll end that there.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to bother with the ending scene like I normally do for just a solo session. So, bye,
Yeah,
the audience that is not listening in right now.